Good morning. It's October 27th, 2020, heading down to help my girl at the shop. And life is good. And I was going to share my experience on this video about weight loss. So I am obviously no expert on weight loss. I have no formal training or anything like that. All I have is my own experience to speak of. So in my experience with weight loss, I am 6'3", and I've always been, like, I would say normal to chubby. You know, I always had a spare tire. And as I started getting into my marriage and my life, I think I just stopped eating. I've never ate right, never. And so in between not eating right and then I was a bellman, so I walked a lot and a very physical job, but I would eat constantly, and I ate large amounts and shitty food on top of that. So and then, you know, I would get home and I would cook a pizza at midnight or have Ben and Jerry's, and my ex would always have the fridge loaded with DiGiorno pizzas and Ben and Jerry's and just crap. We had the basic sad lifestyle, standard American diet, which is an acronym SAD, and just pre-processed crap, fried food, way too much food, eating right in the morning all the way up until late at night, just everything you could possibly do wrong, right? So as I headed off on my own and left my marriage, I was 270 pounds, and I'm 6'3", so that proportion's, you know, obviously obese or morbidly obese. And I was hot all the time. It didn't matter. It felt like I was in a straitjacket. My shirts had gotten up to triple X's. My pants had gotten into 42s, I think, for my Dickies. And my daughter said one time I looked like a thumb with eyes. No definition, because I had a shaved head and everything. And I went to the doctor. I was 38 years old. Went to the doctor, and of course my cholesterol's going through the roof. My blood pressure's going through the, you know, just all these bad signs. So there was a Planet Fitness literally across the street from the apartment complex that I moved into. $10 a month, no commitment. I'd had a athletic club membership years before at work, and I probably used it twice or three times. I hated it, and paid on it for probably 3 years, and probably, you know, $30 a month, and probably used it 3 times. So I was reluctant to get into another gym membership because I wouldn't use it. But $10 a month and no commitment, can't beat that, right? So I have no excuse. So on top of that, I just started eating less. So I had the very simple equation of eating less and moving more, right? It's much more complex than that in reality, but if you just keep it really simple, you can probably do it. So I didn't necessarily eat better at first. I would just eat less. So when I would go to Roberto's, I would get 3 tacos instead of 3 tacos and nachos, or maybe 2 tacos, or 1 burrito instead of ordering something. I'd go to McDonald's and get a kid's meal. So physically just taking in less calories. And then at work, they instituted this thing company-wide where they had what they called Jim's Plate, which was a healthy alternative for lunch, or for your meal. Like 700 calories roughly, well-rounded, you know, macros and stuff. And it was kind of a no-brainer. You just went in and you handed them the plate and you asked for Jim's Plate. And it was a way of limiting. And at the same time, they took out the pastry case and the French fries and, like, the obvious high-calorie, shitty things. They took them out away from the employees, basically, in an effort to kind of make them healthier, which I thought was pretty awesome, you know, that the company, and then, obviously it's going to save them money in the long run, but companies usually don't think like that. So bravo to the MGM Corporation for looking out to try to make their employees more healthy, and they've continued that up until COVID. They still had, like, these healthy options always. So, and then I started going to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, and I would do like 20 or 30 minutes of cardio and then 20 to 30 minutes of working out. And it took about 3 years to lose 70 pounds, and then I've kept it off for the last 7 years roughly. And it's a constant battle. You know, this body wants to be fatter, and so constantly got to watch what I do, you know, every day. And I've learned more about nutrition and your, you know, physiology and how the actual food and nutrients are processed going in and out. So it is a much more complex process than just eating less and moving more. But the basics, I think, are there. You eat less food because we eat way too much food. As we're younger, we're taught to eat till we're full. There's starving kids in Africa. You better eat all your food. Don't be unappreciative. Even if you don't think it tastes good, you don't want to offend somebody, you're just taught to eat until you're full. Okay? So I would eat until I was full, and then 20 or 30 minutes later, I felt like shit, right? Like puffy, you know, because it was always shitty food too. But I would feel crappy because I would just be too full. So the other thing I had to do was change my mindset on food and feeling of food. And so I ate until I knew there was enough food in me to sustain. You know, like 2 tacos from Roberto is enough to get you by for lunch. It is, even if it doesn't feel like it. So I would kind of leave my meals even a little hungry, right? But then 20 minutes later, I felt fine. So that was a mindset shift. That's the lifestyle change that they talk about too. The mindset shift on working out and eating and food in general. I love food. I love ice cream. It makes me feel good. I always had low blood sugar problems when I was in my youth, and because I was eating like crap, and so I probably was heading towards type 2 diabetes because you get insulin resistance, and man, my blood sugar stuff was all out of whack. So I don't have those highs and lows on blood sugar now. Every once in a while, but for the most part, I don't. So what I try to do now is I try to eat as late as in the morning as possible. I don't shove food in my mouth right when I wake up. I try to eat twice a day. So if you eat at 8, 9, or 10 in the morning, and then that sustains you till 2 or 3, and then you eat your final meal of the day. So intermittent fasting is definitely part of the plan. Cutting out sugar and carbs, or those kind. I've never done like keto. There's no way I can do keto. I know that about myself. You hear good and bad about keto. I don't know. It's too complex for me. I just eat sensible. I know when I'm eating bad. I feel it in my bones. When you eat bad, you get chronic inflammation. My bones, my joints start to ache more. I get psoriasis more. You have a lot of problems with leaky gut. So there's about 5 terms. I can't think of them all at the moment. But if you don't know some of these terms, then you're in for probably a problem. One is insulin resistance. The other one is leaky gut. I'll think of the other ones as we go. But you run into problems with chronic inflammation, and a lot of these, like Crohn's disease and psoriasis and arthritis and stuff, are these your body's immune system going crazy, and it's because you've got this chronic inflammation in your body and it's trying to fight it. And it comes from mostly your diet, I believe, because I know I've changed my diet and it changed my problems immensely. I'm still not perfect and I still run into it. Anyway, so that's it, man. Just eating more sensible, trying to eat more veggies. Huge proponent of just eating raw vegetables as much as possible. I don't do it that much. I'm horrible about it because it's not easy just to pick up veggies on the fly when you're out running around. So just move more, eat less, eat better, keep your window for eating tighter. So you maybe eat in an 8-hour, 10-hour window, and it gives your body a chance to burn all the sugar that's in your glucose that's in your bloodstream and burn fat, actually pull fat out of your cells and burn fat. It's not rocket science. And here's the thing, there's a million videos on YouTube about metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, leaky gut, all these things. Do yourself a service and watch videos. Instead of playing video games, instead of watching The fucking Bachelor or all this dumb shit on TV, spend a fucking hour a day watching some informational videos. There's so much goddamn information out there. There's no reason why you don't know what's going on with your body. So if you're overweight, if you're sickly, if you're out of shape, you have nobody to blame but yourself, because no matter how badly out of shape you are, how fucked up you are, you can do something. And another thing is having somebody that'll call you out on your bullshit. And when I lost my weight initially, I'd done it with an ex-girlfriend, and we would kind of call each other out, and we helped each other out. It's so much easier to do this, and me and V do it now. When we're bad together. Like, we enable each other when we want ice cream or treats or something like that. If we are strong and we're trying to, it's easier to be strong together, you know? But if one person's constantly weak, it's going to drag the other person down. So try to find somebody that'll go along with you on your game. It's not rocket science, but every time you reach into that fridge, every time you order at that drive-thru, every time you go to put something in your pie hole, you are making a constant decision what you're going to put in there. It's nobody else's fault. I don't give a shit how much you were abused or what's happened in your past life. Every fucking thing you stick in your mouth has a consequence. It's that easy, you know? Don't blame everybody else for your problems. It's just getting it done, okay? You watch a million videos on YouTube of really, really morbidly obese people that couldn't even walk hardly change their life when they change their mindset. So no matter how bad you are off, it'll get better. And the better you feel, the better you'll do, you know? So you have to just stop the madness, get off that endless cycle of repetition, and have some faith in yourself, and have some determination, and have some discipline, you know? Life's not all about just eating the cherries and eating the ice cream and making everything taste as good as it possibly can. Sometimes something tastes pretty goddamn good, and yeah, it could taste better by putting more guacamole or sour cream or more sugar into it or some shit like that. But if you really stop that, so Penn Jillette did something one time. He's not the only guy, but he'd go on Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller and see how he lost his weight. And he went on a potato diet for like a month or some shit like that and reset his taste buds, because we're so overly salted and overly sugared and overly rich foods that we forget how fucking good food really tastes. So you do one thing, he chose potatoes, and you just eat it for like 2 weeks or a month straight. And it gives you all your nutrients and everything. And then every time you taste something after that, you realize how sweet corn is, or how good green beans taste, or how good cauliflower is. But it doesn't taste good when you're so fucking used to so much sugar and salt and fat, you know. So I am by far not perfect, but I do know when I'm not being right. I've educated myself enough where every time I put something bad in my body, I know it's bad and I know what I'm doing. So, I don't know. Educate yourself, work hard at it. You'll enjoy your life so much better. I love you all. I love myself. I love my life. Have a great day.